Good morning. For those of you who don't know, my name is Maya Karen. I run a fashion blog called Classically Kept. It does feature luxury, contemporary, and how to style, and now natural hair care and hair care topics. If you are into any of those things, please consider subscribing to my channel. Click the notification bell. That way you will never miss a video. So first things first, this is not a typical setup for a hair video, but I have several virtual episodes with interviews coming up for the podcast, and I just want to make sure that y'all can hear me. I know we were having some technical difficulties in the last two solo episodes, so if you would just do me a favor in the comments, let me know if you can hear me. But today I want to talk about a short that popped up on my YouTube feed. If you have been a part of the community, I'd probably say since 2024, you already know my sentiments when it comes to hairstylists, but I want to point or discuss this video because it encompasses a lot of issues that we are having, but it also showcases a hairstylist who actually cares about the health of her client's hair. So
to all my girlies who live in LA, are y'all okay? Do y'all need me to take a trip out there to save y'all hair? This is the second client I had that came from.
So first things first, the very first thing that I noticed about this young lady's hair, unfortunately, is that most of her hair is compromised.
From a salon in LA who had them basically braiding their hair up for 4 months underneath sew-ins and wigs. No shampooing, no taking the braids down, just leaving them in and then coming in every 4 months for a shampoo, blow dry, and trim. Now, if you've been following me, you know I already recommend shampooing and moisturizing the hair regularly because that is what is going to help your hair retain its moisture. That being said, this client's hair was extremely dry and broken off in so many areas. The whole entire perimeter of her hair was broken off. And I do unfortunately have to trim that area as well, so that way it does not split up any further and it does not compromise the hair that isn't split up that far. Now, before y'all get in the comments, don't come trying to eat my client up because she was doing what she thought was best for her hair by listening to a trusted professional and following the regimen that was given to her. But it's okay. She's in safe hands now. And y'all know that I did what I had to do on the cut. I chopped it right down because of how much breakage she had. And the camera honestly does not do justice of how bad it was. We had to cut her down into a mushroom. And as you can see, her hair looks 10 times better already. It's giving bouncy, healthy, and shiny. And we still have a long ways to go, but this is such a strong starting point. Her hair is going to be so far down her back in a year.
Like, mommy, look at the bounce.
Period.
It wasn't moving before.
Okay, so we can see that this client is much happier and her hair does look a lot better. It's shinier, it's bouncy. You heard her on the phone with her mother and she was going like this and she said it wasn't moving before. So I just want to kind of recap what we saw in the video. So the very first thing is the client was based in California. The client was getting her hair braided down and was wearing wigs for 4 months at a time. She was not washing her hair in between wigs and braid downs. Her hair was broken off extensively. The stylist had to cut more than half of her hair, and then the client's hair was cut into a beautiful bob. So the very first thing that I want to talk about is the appreciation for the actual hairstylist that she is now going to or coming to. Her information will be down below and so will her page. As you guys have heard me say before, there is a disconnect in our community when it comes to the client and when it comes to the hairstylist. I really appreciate how the stylist in the video said, do not come for my client. My client was under the care of another stylist and she was simply following the instructions of the stylist, which was every 4 months she was to come in and get her hair washed and blow dried, braid down, and then was putting a wig on it. Okay. So in my opinion, because I talked about a video before, basically it said, does your hairstylist secretly hate doing your hair? So in my opinion, this is the proper approach to creating content as a stylist. We know, and as I said in that video, I am very aware that a video going viral or you creating content for your business can be a great vehicle, especially for marketing, and it can bring you new clients. However, like I said in that video, I'm beginning to notice that stylists are creating content solely to complain and or embarrass their client. But this is the proper approach to creating content as a stylist. You got the content. It was a teachable moment for your audience and a lesson for your client. Okay. So how did we get here? I just want to make sure that I understand what the current stylist said, because there are also a lot of unanswered questions. We don't know everything that is going on in the background. The current stylist said that the young lady was going to the stylist every 4 months. She was getting a wash, a blow dry, a trim. Her hair was being braided down, and then she was getting installs or wigs. Fine. That is the style, that is the service that the client wanted. So that is what the cosmetologist or the stylist provided. However, every 4 months, there is a lot that can go wrong with hair that is braided down and it's being covered consistently. The hair and the scalp are not able to breathe. Not to mention going 4 months without washing the hair. Also, I would like to know what type of products were being used to moisturize the hair. As we heard the cosmetologist or the stylist say, the current one, the hair was so dry and it was also broken off in multiple places. So how we got here is just the neglect when it comes to the stylist, or I won't say neglect. Let me say this. Unless this young lady's hair looks like this the very first install, the stylist or the cosmetologist would have been able to see the deterioration over a period of time when it comes to this young lady's hair. So let's say for the first install, it was fine. Let's say for the second install, it was fine. We've now reached 8 months. Let's say for the third install, she washes and she blow dries the hair and it looks like this, or it is beginning to look like that. At that point, that is when the stylist should have said something to the client. They should have paused. She should have handed her a mirror, and then they should have figured out what the next course of action was going to be. If the client was informed of the state of her hair, she had a decision to make. Do we change what we're getting ready to do to my hair, or do we continue? But based off of her reaction towards the end of the video, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that the cosmetologist or the stylist did not tell her about the state of her hair. Monetary. Is this a situation where the stylist saw the state of the client's hair, she did not say anything, and she just proceeded to do what the client asked her to do? If that is indeed true, that means that you compromised or you did not warn your client because you wanted to keep them in your chair and because you wanted to continue to collect money for your services, which I understand. Businesses are in business to make money. I understand that. However, like I've said before, there is a disconnect between client and stylist. We are now seeing that stylists are more worried about a look. They are more worried about a certain aesthetic. They are putting aesthetic and style over the health of the hair. So I want to talk about health because this could also be a component. There are a lot of things that are going on in this video, but there are just certain things that we do not know or that were not said. Health. Vitamin D deficiency and an iron deficiency can wreak havoc on your hair. Please, 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 please make sure that you are getting your levels checked regularly or when you think that something is not right. Which again, if this young lady was sitting in her stylist chair, they should have been able to see the progression or the deterioration of her hair. Now, that is not to be said that the very first time that this young lady sat in this stylist chair, it is very possible that her hair already looked like that. Which is going to bring me to my next point. The trust between the client and the professional. And I will give you the example of a doctor. You notice that something is not correct, so you go to your doctor because you know something is not right. They are the professional. They have gone to undergraduate, they have gone to medical school, they take their state board exams, and then they get their MD. They are the professional. You go to them for advice. You go to them to figure out what is going on. I don't think I can describe, or anybody else who has dealt with something like this or experienced this, I don't think I can describe the level of uncertainty or anxiety or fear that your doctor does not know what is going on with you or gives you incorrect information. They are the professional. So when you go to them, you are looking for some type of remedy. It's the exact same thing with the cosmetologist or the licensed cosmetologist. When you are sitting in that individual's chair, you are putting your trust in them to care for your hair And should they notice something, they say something to you. Y'all have a collaboration or y'all have a consultation and try to figure out what is going on. Sitting in a stylist chair is a very vulnerable position to be in. I include myself in this, but I know women based off of experience and based off of the comments in the community when I do videos. There are women who have not stepped foot in a salon based off of a previous traumatic experience, and they will not go back. Outside of my wedding, which was in March of 2021, I washed my hair, I blow dried it, and then I had a stylist come to our location of where we were getting married, and she styled my hair. Outside of that, a stylist has not touched my hair, I would probably say, in the last 10 years. Now, recently, starting in 2024, I have started going to a stylist for trims only. Outside of that, nothing. I do all of my hair care at home. And to the part with the trust and building a rapport with the client, I actually think saying something to the client could strengthen the relationship between the client and the stylist. And the reason why I say that is because the client might not be aware, they might not know what to look for. And you as a professional see that something is wrong. However, the caveat to this is maybe because I'm noticing just within comments and looking at other people's videos, when it comes to stylists or when it comes to cosmetologists, they may be a specialty, meaning you might have a stylist who is a master cutter or a precision cutter. You might have a stylist who is a master colorist, and then you might just have like your general stylist. I'm beginning to hear people talk about how they have different stylists lined up for different things. So maybe for this particular stylist, all she does is braid downs and installs, and that's fine. But even with her just doing that, this woman sitting in her chair the first time or the third time, this was a progression. Unless her hair already looked like that when she first had in her chair and she just didn't say anything. But if it did not, it's very clear that something went wrong. And saying something, in my opinion, could have strengthened the relationship. So maybe for this stylist, that is all that she does. And for fear of losing a client, losing revenue, she did not say anything. All right, so I am going to talk about the client. I am not blaming her. However, I just want us to be a little bit more diligent when it comes to our hair. A couple of scenarios. Maybe she didn't have a great hair care regimen prior to going to the stylist, and that might have been why she went to her. Maybe she wanted a break from her hair. I know a lot of natural women, they choose to get braids or they choose to put their hair up when it comes to summer. Maybe she wanted to grow her hair out and she wasn't sure, and maybe she hopped on TikTok or Instagram, or maybe she asked someone, and that is the option that they gave her. Or maybe she was just simply new to natural hair and she wasn't sure what to do. There are a myriad of reasons as to why she chose to go to this stylist. We just don't know. But I want us to be an advocate for our hair. I want us to be diligent. Maybe it's a situation, and I hear about this often, maybe it's a situation that while the stylist was doing her hair, she turned her around so that she could not see, meaning she was not facing the mirror. Next time that happens to you, ask to see your hair, okay? So I know we are going to have a great conversation about this in the comments. What I love about my community is that we can disagree, but we always keep it respectful. I just want to remind you here on YouTube, I do upload videos every Wednesday and Sunday, and of course, right here or right here. I'll leave my Instagram handle. Please do not forget to comment about how the sound quality is, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.
We always have it coming.